If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is December the 6th, 2021, and today the topic is the green eyes of envy. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. First, let me say, welcome to all of the new watchers and listeners and everything like that. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by God, Sex, and Love. I want to have an additional chat with you all since I know that you all are new to this channel or even the podcast. But in particular, I'm speaking to people that watch me either live or the video version of this. I want to have a little extra chat with y'all, so please stay tuned to the end, to what I call the after show, so I can do a little bit of explaining and whatnot. But aside from that, one thing I want to say is my apologies for Saturday's episode. I know Saturday's live episode again had issues, although I was using a different browser. I did hit up StreamYard about it, so hopefully it is rectified today. Prayerfully we do not have any issues. I definitely did an extra little prayer over that this morning as well. So that's one thing I wanted to address. But aside from that, I mean, my weekend was kind of normal. I mean, like the new normal. It was the new normal. Because like I told you all, my husband is working on weekends now. And so it's it takes a little bit of adjustment, at least for me. But again, I am thankful. I'm happy that he is stepping out on faith. And, he's excited about these opportunities and whatnot. And so although it does have things operating a little differently in our household, and obviously I miss not being around him on the weekend or around him in the evening or whatever the case is, but I understand the sacrifice now for the bigger picture, and so I just pray for him and everything like that, and I appreciate him. Hard-working gentleman he's been, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be with a man like that. But anywho, the green eyes of envy. The green eyes of envy. Because I can sit here and talk about, my little life and stuff, all day. Y'all know. So, but the interesting thing is, it kind of goes hand in hand in some ways. Because y'all know, y'all know me. Y'all know my story. I've shared it multiple times. I think y'all do. Like I said, I wrote a whole book about it. Look, the cultivation period, a single Christian's journey. I think this is, if there was a sin that I struggled with throughout my life, it probably was this. It probably was like coveting and like looking at what someone else has, and maybe I desire it or whatever like that. And I think what I've tried to do as I grow in my faith and as I grow as an individual is to switch that thing around in several ways. So again, I shared the cultivation period because again, that was one of the things I was doing. I was looking at married women and wanting what they had, right? we can get into that. That's a whole other subject. Y'all know that's one of my passions to talk about that. So we ain't got to get into that right now. But what I'm saying is that, there's several examples of this in my life, right? And again, I told you guys that my main career or my main, form or passion or whatever the case is performing. And it's easy to do that as an actor, to look at, again, someone else's career and be like, man, I would love that opportunity or X, Y, and Z, And so, and then what I call it playing the comparison game. It's easy to do that in the career that I'm in. It's easy to do that, single versus married. It's easy to do that in any capacity. Like, um, I'm reminded of my son. That's why I started laughing. I'm reminded of him because anytime somebody has something, he'll want it, right? But if it was just sitting there, then he wouldn't want it. It's like that story about the dog with the bone. The dog had the bone, but he looked in the water and saw a dog with a bone, and then he tried to get that bone. Whatever way we can, try to, explain or bring some understanding to this idea of envy and whatnot, then, I mean, all of those I feel like are great examples. I hope that, you get what I'm saying here. That, I can definitely say in my life that I've been there. And I would say that I'm actively trying to get away from that mindset and to do like the Bible say, renew my mind, you know what I'm saying, and all that good stuff. And so, so that's what the inspiration was today. The green eyes of envy. So let's get into it. I did not define the word envy, so if you need that, then by all means add that to your own Go Deeper section today. You can define envy, jealousy, all that stuff, and I think you're going to be familiar with the conversation. But one of the first verses I came across this morning was Proverbs 14:30. It says, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." Well, yeah, man. Now the interesting thing is, I didn't write this verse down, but the first verse I came across this morning was talking about like God being a jealous God and everything like that. And y'all know that, the Bible does say that we are made in His image. So I was like, well, Lord, we made in your image and you a jealous God. So I'm just saying, people out here being jealous. I mean, yeah, that's the reason I didn't write that verse down. Because I'm like, well, we can go deeper about that. That's a whole nother conversation or whatever the case is. But I just thought that was interesting. That was the first verse that I came across. But that's pretty deep right there. Again, I guess being tranquil versus being what a tranquil heart does versus what envy does. So y'all can let that marinate on your heart, souls, and minds today. But yeah, I found that verse to be interesting this morning. The second verse I wanted to share was Galatians 5:26. It says, "Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another." Well, there you go. I mean, sometimes, again, people are quick. We all can be quick to like kind of puff up ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Maybe be a little conceited, Again, sometimes people do the comparison game in the opposite way. Like, well, I have this, and I'm this, okay, and then they do the comparison game. So it's telling us clearly, hey, don't do that. And there you go. I mean, well, because that's what that leads to. Yeah, I'm just telling y'all what the words say. That's what it says there. James 3:16, it says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorders and every vile practice." I mean, there you go. It doesn't say, well, there might be this. And no, it says there will be disorders, and every vile practice. So it doesn't sound like something we should be a part of. Therefore, jealousy and selfish ambition should not be a part of us, right? I mean, again, there's so many things to say, y'all. There's so many things to say, but let me just keep going. Let me just keep going because I got one more verse I wanted to share. It's 1 Peter 2:1. It says, "So put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and all slander." So, yeah, these are the things we're supposed to put away, y'all. These are the things that we need to let go of. And so, if I just share a little bit of my testimony, right? I think I've been trying my best to be intentional about changing my mindset, like I shared with you guys earlier. So, for example, I try my best to, for example, I have this group. It's called Unwind Self-Care and Sip Spa on Facebook. And right now it's just a group of women, and I just pretty much, I encourage self-care. Yes, I promote my, endeavors. I have, a wine business and nail polish business, and I promote those things together, because I feel like it's a great way to just take time to unwind, to make sure that we as women, and even myself, that we don't forget to take care of yourself, I call it take time to unwind, whether I'm, I give myself a manicure, which I need to do. Y'all see me. If I give myself a mani-pedi, or if I just, take some time to just color in my coloring book, or just something to do self-care. But the interesting thing is, as I made the group of women, I try my best to be intentional about celebrating them and their wins, right? Like, I shout out my business endeavors, and I shout out things that I'm doing along the way. But, when I see them win in any capacity, I try my best to, share those things. If I notice it's somebody's birthday, I try my best to shout them out. If they just post a beautiful photo, like they just look great, I'm like, wow, I try my best to, like, share that photo and say, wow, you look great, sis, or check out our sis here, or whatever the case is. And so I think over the past year, since I've been, I guess, cultivating this group of women and just doing this, instead of looking at my fellow lady with the green eyes of envy, right? I look at them with admiration. I look at them with, celebration. I look at them with, and try to share that, and so I feel like that's one way to be intentional, or that's one way that I have been intentional about shifting my mindset when it comes to, jealousy, right? When it comes to envy, when it comes to, like, wanting what someone else has. Instead of that, again, perhaps celebrate them. Perhaps if you see someone and you like their outfit, and maybe you want their outfit, but maybe you just tell them that you like their outfit. You never know. I mean, most of the time people be like, oh, I got it from such and such. And if you truly want it, you can go and buy it too, and everything like that. But it's just something to think about. That's just one thing that I've done along the way. And I would say over the past year that I think is helping me in this area. It was crazy because I don't know, it wasn't necessarily when I first made the group, obviously I was making it for, my business endeavors, but at the same time I just was like, well, okay, I got this group of women, and, I'm promoting self-care, I'm reminding us all to, take time to unwind. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but, oh, this person just did this. Hey, guys, she just won an award. Let's give it up for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she just posted this beautiful photo. So I just think there's ways to change our minds in regards to this. Speaking of, I know I told you guys about the cultivation period earlier. I had someone do this to me fairly recently, actually yesterday. And, every now and then, like, the women in my group, they'll shout me out. And I guess because they've noticed that I've shouted everybody else out. And, again, I share my stuff, but, I don't, it's nice to be celebrated, you know what I'm saying? And so every now and then someone will shout me out. And so yesterday, I received a notification from a friend of mine. Her name is Marilyn Dabney. I spoke to you all about her before because I actually won her giveaway recently. She has a business called Courageous Self-Care Specialist, and you guys, that's her Instagram right there if you guys want to check her out. But she gave me a shout out yesterday. She said she read my book, which I didn't know she got my book. So, again, so thank God for that. So she said she read my book, and she gave her review on it, and was shouting it out and telling people to go and check it out and everything like that. And that was just a beautiful thing to see that, wow, okay, not only was someone touched by my work, and not only did they show appreciation and then encourage others, but then, they took the time to really shout it out and to just, I don't know, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. It was like a surprise. It was something that was like, wow, thank you for even taking that time to do that. She didn't have to take the time to make a video talking about my books, and everything like that. And so I really have been trying my best to surround myself with like-minded people. You know what I mean? People that think along those same lines of like, hey, I lift you up, you lift me up, we lift each other up, we work together. Like, I'm loving being around these type of people. And it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, and I'm glad that, again, I'm glad that she took out the time to shout out the books and shout me out. But at the same time, I really just appreciate, again, feeling like, okay, wow, this is mutual. I feel like, I've shouted her out, she shouted me out. Like, it's just, it's a beautiful thing to just be a part of. And so, so thank you, Marilyn. Thank you so much for taking out that time and doing that yesterday. That was a pleasant surprise to find out that, you not only read my book, but it impacted you in some way. And, like I said, to God be the glory. To God be the glory for, everything that he's done. And I'm excited. I'm truly excited. But I'll talk to you more about other stuff when I get done with the juice here. But anyway, I just shared those couple of things so to hopefully encourage you and inspire you to, instead of, again, being envious of someone, just, find ways to celebrate them. Find ways to, let them know. Just let them know. Maybe that's what you need to do. Just, hey, sis, hey, my brother, like, I appreciate, whatever it is, that they have, instead of coveting it, right? Instead of envying it. I guess I'll share one more testimony because it just came back to my heart and mind. And I think that's what inspired the name, The Green Eyes of Envy, because I had been saying it over the weekend when I talked to like some friends or whatever. Long story short, y'all know. I think y'all know my struggle. I mean, I'm hustling from home. I've been trying my best to, look for another venue and everything like that. And so I've been seeing a lot of people lately with with venues and stuff. And I'm like, man, Lord, like, people can get whole warehouses out here and I can't even just get one place. Like, all I'm trying to find is a place that has at least 2 rooms. Like, I can't even, and it's just been one of these things. But anyway, so long story short, there's this woman that has opened up a film studio here in Georgia. And, I commend her. That's great. Like, I think that's amazing. But, I think every now and then, that's, again, if you're struggling with something, right, then you're going to get those temptations. And so that's what we got to, like, rebuke, those temptations, rebuke Satan and all that, to be like, hey, I'm not going to look at this lady and covet her studio, for example. Like, I have to, focus on what God is doing with me, for me, and through me right now. You know what I'm saying? So when I did feel myself feeling some kind of way about her having a studio and me not being able to get a place right now, I had to shift it, right? I had to be like, nah, you know what? At the end of the day, Miracle, God has blessed you. You know what I'm saying? This year has been amazing. Like, not only have I published multiple books, but, y'all know that I got a movie coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is amazing. Like, at the end of the day, instead of looking at this lady's studio and being like, oh, she got a place and I don't have a place. No, I need to look at it like, okay, what can I do at this place? She's provided a place that is affordable for someone like me to be able to go and film. Because that was one of my, not say pet peeves, but one of my issues with studios. Because here in Atlanta, there's been a lot of studios and whatnot that are opening. Y'all know about a major one that is here in Atlanta. And my whole thing was like, man, I don't see access into how someone like me can go there and film. So to me, it doesn't matter that they're here. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't give me no, it's like my money isn't as good as the big studio money, apparently. You know what I'm saying? That's what it makes me feel like. And so to know that, hey, well, this other lady has a studio. I mean, this lady here has a studio that is affordable, something where I can, and it's, easy access to say, okay, I don't have to go through loops and hoops to figure out how can I rent a space. It's available for people like me. Instead of coveting it, right? And instead of being like, oh, I want my venue now, whenever that happens, that will happen at the end of the day. And if I am to open up a studio, which it has been on my heart and mind to do something similar, then hey, in God's time, that's going to happen, right? But right now, while I don't have no studio, she has one. I have access to it. And if there's something that I can go and do there, and film there, I have no issue with going there and filming there and whatnot, instead of, again, looking at her with the green eyes of envy and feeling like, oh, she got something I want. Like, no, well, hey, and same thing for vice versa for me. If someone's looking at me and like, oh, she X, Y, and Z, hey, man, like, I think once people get to know me, they'll see that, hey, man, I will willingly share information. I don't have no problem with collaborations and all that type of stuff. I'm not someone that's going to just be like, oh, yes, I am this, I am that. You can't talk to me. That's not me. That's not my heart. And so, and I believe that, again, for this woman to have done what she's done, I believe that kind of shows her heart as well, to say, okay, yes, I built this place, but I'm building it for myself and others, and so I think that's what it is about at the end of the day. I can, again, give plenty of examples of how the green eyes of envy try to pop up in my life, but at the same time, y'all, what I had to do, like I said, fairly recently over the weekend, when that tried to come my way, what I had to do was focus on what God was doing for me. Like I said, with me, for me, and through me. And like I said, God has done so many amazing things this year. I don't have nothing to complain about. The fact that I am living my dream, living my book, you know what I mean? Things that I wrote about or prayed about years ago. I'm living that stuff right now. To God be the glory, man. I can't sit here and be complaining and coveting nobody's nothing. At the end of the day, yeah, I want to do better than what I was doing last year. And I want to, and stuff like that. I want to compete against myself, as they say, in that aspect. But aside from that, when I see my sister or if I see my brother winning, I'm going to celebrate them just as I would want to be celebrated, like the words say, do unto others as we would have them do unto us. So, I don't know, y'all. I'm just telling y'all what came to me this morning as I was reflecting about this idea of the green eyes of envy. I hope they're hearing my testimonies and also just kind of listening to those verses today have encouraged you and inspired you. By all means, check out the Go Deeper section. Let those verses marinate on your heart, souls, and minds today. But y'all know how I said, man, that here we go, y'all. That is the juice. That is the juice. But the Bible verse of today is 2 Chronicles 7:14. It says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hey y'all, I'm Nyla O'Neill with Anchor Phlebotomy Institute. We're located at 737 South Hill Street in Griffin, Georgia. Look, this program was birthed out of a will to help and push you closer to your dream, customizing each and every learning path for each and every student, giving you hands-on education with myself and other teammates. We're here to help you and drive you to be the best version of yourself. Look, we're a 12-week program, and it will be vigorous, but it will be worth the work. Put the work in, you will see it in the end. We are dedicated to seeing you not only finish our program, but to get certified. We are an accredited school through the National Phlebotomy Solutions, and we are so ready to meet each and every one of you. Contact us today.